So what is a stored procedure? That we will take a look at in today's session to start with, okay? And the stored procedures is not specific to SQL Server. This is common to almost all the RDBMS software. You take any RDBMS software, Oracle, DB2, MySQL, all the RDBMS softwares, the stored procedure option is available. Okay, the object, so in database, everything is an object. Okay, stored procedure is also an object. So this is available in almost all the RDBMS software. Okay, so what exactly the stored procedure is all about? What exactly is stored procedure? Stored procedure is nothing but a pre-compiled collection of SQL statements. Let's say you have a bunch of SQL statements, you want to group it together and put it in a stored procedure, you can. But that, just because I told you to group all the SQL statements put in a stored procedure, we don't do that. What we do is, for example, you wanted to implement a specific functionality. Okay, you want to implement a specific functionality. That functionality that will be reused multiple time by various other applications or users. So in that kind of situation, the stored procedure is very much helpful. It's something like a recipe for a dish, okay? Or we can say ready mix. You have a ready mix, right? You go and buy it from a shop, and you don't have to buy all the ingredients of the ready mix, and you don't have to be aware what ratio you need to mix all the recipes, sorry, the ingredients, right? So you don't have to be familiar with all the things. Everything is readily available. They mixed everything. So someone bought all the necessary ingredients and then they mixed with proper ratio and they'll put it in a box and then they sell it. So we go and buy it, and then we simply open that, unbox the box, and then you take the powder, mix it in the water, and then you can prepare your sweet or something like that. How many of you know the jamun, right? Jamun is also one of the popular sweets, right? So you want to prepare jamun. So in that case, you don't have to buy each and every ingredients, and you don't have to mix with mix all the ingredients with the proper ratio. You don't have to have that headache. The ready mix, you buy it, and then you put that powder into water, and then you need to prepare the sweets in the proper shape, and then you are all set to prepare the sweets, right? So it's a ready mix. Similarly, the stored procedure is, once you create it, you can use it as many times as you want to. Create once, use it as many times as possible. Okay. So one of the key advantages of using stored procedure is the reusability. You can reuse it as many times as you want it, like ready mix. Okay. It's a pre-compiled and pre-optimized piece of code. This is another advantage. Okay. So once you have written the functionality, everything in a stored procedure, and then if you execute it, right, it will get compiled once. Okay, and then pre-optimized the piece of code, and then it will get executed. Whenever you invoke the stored procedure, it will not compile it. It will not compile the code each and every time you call it. So it will get compiled once, and you can use it as many times as well. In that case, the performance will be uh, pretty fast, so that you don't have to compile the bunch of codes each and every time when someone calls the stored procedure. So in this case, it pre-compiles your bunch of code in your stored procedure once, only once. Okay. And then modularity. Next one is modularity. So you can use the stored procedure to break down your complex task into smaller, more manageable pieces. So that later point in time, if you want to make a changes to a specific portion of your SQL stored procedure, it'll be pretty easier also, right? So for example, you want to compute the net salary. So for before that, you want to compute the gross salary. For that, you have written one, the functionality there, a piece of code, right? Let's say 5 or 6 lines of code you have written it to compute the gross salary. And then another set piece of code, we use it to compute the net salary. So later point in time, if they introduce some other component as part of your gross salary, you can go to that specific part of your script and you can make a changes there. That's all. Okay. So hence modularity is there. That way, we are not going to have too many redundant codes in your data set. Okay, in your script. Okay. So it can be executed repeatedly by calling the stored procedure. It is created and saved in the database. So this is the syntax for your stored procedure. Create procedure, procedure name, and then here the parameters. Parameters are optional, but the whole and sole idea of using the stored procedure is, to make it very dynamic. Okay, to make it very so. And then the sense, whenever you call the user calls the stored procedure, all they need just pass the value for these parameters, and then that parameters will be passed to the body of your stored procedure, the begin end, right? So here that these values will get passed, and then the body of your stored procedure will get executed. That's all. Okay. So, but each time you call the stored procedure, you can pass different values via these parameters, so that your stored procedure will be very dynamic, right? And we have something else called the stored function. What we'll do is we'll jump into the SSMS, and I'll show you how to create a stored procedure, very simple stored procedure. So now what I'll do is I just go here. I have a sales database. I just execute this. Okay, it does not contain. Okay, what I'll do is I just go here and then I use demo DB itself. I just select this one, execute this. Yes, currently we are in the demo database. Here, what I do is I'm going to create a simple stored procedure so that you can understand how it works exactly. Create database and sorry, not database, the stored procedure. Okay, create procedure, and here let's get um, here the employee tables are not there. Okay. Oh, it is there. Okay, create treasure. Get, for example, get all employees. So make sure that you are using the SP, your stored procedure name prefixed with the SP, so that you can understand what object is this. If someone look at your objects, that are available in database, with this prefixed value, right? It's a prefix the SP. They can, oh, this object is related to stored procedure. Okay. So the syntax is create procedure, procedure name, parameter as. So parameter is the optional one. Okay. And here what I do is next is the begin end. Okay. So as is the keyword, begin end. Inside this begin and end, you need to put your logic here. For example, in this case, I just specify simple example. Okay, employee is there, employee table. That's all, guys. So I am going to create the stored procedure, execute this one. The commands completed successfully. Now, how do I call the stored procedure? Just click on this, and here you just put here how to execute the stored procedure. Initially, I taught you execute. Okay, execute. You can use it, or in general, what we do is we use exec. Look here. So once you create this stored procedure, all you need to do is you just tell your team member, hey, I have created a stored procedure. If you guys want to select all the columns and rows from employee table, all you just execute this line. Okay, execute. The shortcut is exec. Okay, we use exec, and I'm going to select this one, exec, followed by the stored procedure name, and I'm going to click on the execute now. See, creating a stored procedure alone not sufficient. You need to use the stored procedure. So that's where we need to execute the stored procedure using either the execute or exec the stored procedure. That's all, guys. Okay, the next one is yeah, another example is I just create another stored procedure, create procedure, and here add numbers. And here, what I'll do is I just put at num1 integer data type at. So what is at? So the parameter, you need to prefix the parameter by at symbol and followed by that the parameter name. Here I just use num1, num2 as the two parameters. And here just two parameters I'm going to. Next one is the syntax as begin end. And here what I do is I just say select at num1 plus at num2. Okay, at num2 as sum of numbers. Okay, that's all. So in this stored procedure, I'm not at all using any table. Okay, instead I'm using the parameters. So these parameters, I have used the select statement and as sum of numbers. I want to add, given any two values, once it adds in the given any two values, it will put it in a column called sum of numbers. Okay. I just execute this procedure now. Let us see what happens. So not necessarily have to use the tables all the time. Add numbers. Okay, this is already available. Okay, and that's what in the error says. So I'm going to create with a different name for the demo purpose. And now we have created the stored procedure. What the stored procedure does, what functionality it does, if you pass any two values, it adds those two values. Okay. So now I have created, I need to use it. So how do I use it? Exec followed by that the add numbers one, and in the inside the parenthesis, not the parenthesis, sorry. Here what we can do is 10 comma 20 something like that. So here we have created the stored procedure by the number add numbers one. So creating the procedure not sufficient. You need to call the stored procedure or invoke the stored procedure. How do call or invoke? Using exec. Exec followed by that you need to specify your stored procedure name and then 10 comma 20. Okay. So for num1 at num1 10 comma num2 20. Okay. You need to pass the values in the proper order. The 10 will get copied to num1. The 20 will get copied to num2 here. 10 plus 20 is 30. That is the one will be returned now. I just click on this one. Look here, the sum of numbers, 30. How did we get this? That logic already we have written it here. Okay, what like? But for example, you are giving this stored, you have created the stored procedure and you tell your team member, hey, guys, you don't have to do the complex, the complex calculation. All you know, use my stored procedure, add numbers one. How do I use it? You can use exec followed by that my stored procedure name and then pass two values. Okay, this one they should be aware. Okay, how many number of parameter needs to be passed, values needs to be for the number of parameters and what order, all the things they should be knowing it. Okay, I just click on this and now we can see 30 here. Okay, and this is one example. See, in this case, you don't need the what is that? You don't need the table name from class. I did not use it. Okay. Another thing is like, okay, other example is create procedure and for example, get employee name and art for any given employee ID, right? Give me the in integer as begin end and select. For example, here the first name, first underscore name plus this one and plus last underscore name. Okay, as how do you combine the first name and last name? Sometimes, right, they want you to display the full name. So you need to combine the two columns, first name and last name in this example. Okay, how do I do that? Using plus sign also you can use it. Okay, plus the double quote, right? So double quote, sorry, single quote. Okay, single quote and blank space, another thing. Okay, so that the first name space last name. The employee name and here I just go and say from employee. Okay, where let's say, employee ID, emp number, I think so. Okay, that's why I'm not getting, yeah, emp number, where emp number is equivalent to this one at employee ID. Okay, the employee ID. And okay, in this case, we don't have the first name, last name. Look here, select star from employee table. Here we have just e-name and job is there. Okay, what I will do is, here I just rename it as e-name, something like, we just think the job as something like that. Okay, the first name, last name. You just, see, this for example, if we don't have last name column, hence I'm using this job to concat to that. Okay, so like now if you see, now I need to call the stored procedure. So this stored procedure will give me the employee full name. Okay, you give any employee ID, exact the stored procedure name is this one. And then what we will do is, here the employee ID. Let me just check what is the employee number. The employee number, some 7654. For example, I want to know 7654. If I type this, and this value will get copied to employee ID parameter. And again, here you have 7654, where employee number equal to 7654. What is the name of the employee? Martin Salesman. Okay. So okay, this is how you can, but the real, the world scenario here is, for example, sometimes you may need to create, you need to compute the net salary. Okay, net salary also. Look here, this is the stored procedure you created. For example, in your payroll team, the clerk, right? So he is for each and every employee, he is calculating net salary manually. It takes a lot of time. What you do is you create a stored procedure and tell him, hey, you don't have to calculate net salary for each and every employee. So all you need to do is use call my stored procedure, that will give you the net salary. So here, this is my stored procedure, create procedure name. And we have four parameters, right? Gross salary, tax rate, deduction, net salary. And followed by each parameter, I have mentioned the data type, decimal data type, 10 comma 2. 10 is the integer part and 2 is the decimal part. Okay. And here I'm using output parameter also. So in stored procedure, remember, very well, you can use the input parameter as well as the output parameter. Okay. So here what I did, I just inside the body begin end. Again, I'm using a declare here at tax amount. I've declared another variable. Okay. Variable. And this is a variable, this is a parameter. Okay. Here what I do is set at the tax amount, that is my variable name, is equivalent to gross salary and tax rate divided by 100. That is the one will give the tax amount. The next line, the net salary equal to gross salary minus tax amount minus deduction. That is the one will give the net salary. So I just execute the stored procedure. There is an error here. Oh, calculation. Okay, it's already there. Okay, I have used it for previous batch. Now the stored procedure got created without any error. So, but here remember very well, each and every line you need to specify the semicolon. Okay, each and every line you need to specify the semicolon here. Okay, for set, using set you can define a variable and again another variable. Right. So now what happens? You can pass these four values: gross salary, tax rate, deduction, net salary, to this stored procedure. It will give you the net salary. So that, let's say you have created this stored procedure. So now you are, what you are going to tell your payroll guy, hey, you don't have to compute the salary for each and every employee. Let's say in your company, like TCS, you have 7 lakh employees are there. Okay, you don't have to compute the net salary for each and every employee. You tell him, hey guys, I have created a stored procedure. All you need just call my stored procedure. Okay. How do you call my stored procedure? Exec followed by stored procedure name. And this 100,000 is gross salary and 20 is for tax rate and 1500 is for deduction and net salary is equal to at net salary output. That's all. Okay. And then, okay, and again, this net salary will have the net salary calculated here. That one will get stored here, output, okay, output parameter. So here I just execute the stored procedure now. Must declare a scalar at net salary. Sorry, that's why look here, that net salary. See, the at net salary I have declared it, so this variable, okay, completed. And now if you see here, this variable net salary will contain the net salary from your stored procedure. Select at net salary, must declare variable. Okay, okay, 1 second. Yeah, you need to select these three things and then only it will work. Look here, 78,500. This is the net salary. For this given gross salary, the given gross salary is 100,000 and the tax rate is 20 and deduction is 1,500. Net salary. Select net cell. So now what happens, when you call the stored procedure, when you call this stored procedure, right? So by passing these values, it will return the net salary that you store it in a variable, right? So output variable. Okay, so this is what your output variable, right? So you store it here. So and what will happen is you need to use a select query to see what value got stored in your net salary at net salary. Got it? So select net cell. So you see, this is very important. Okay. So far we started with without having any parameter, in your stored procedure. We started with that. And then I have introduced two parameters, num1, num2 and all. And then we saw how to perform addition for any given two numbers, how to do that using the stored procedure, you can do that. And then you have another stored procedure called net salary. Okay, in the net salary, this one will give you the net salary, right? So sorry, this one. Select at net salary, the last one. So 78,500. Already it got stored. Again, you need to select all these things. Okay. Three lines you need to select it, and then you need to click on 78,500. Got it? This is how you can create a stored procedure with an input and output parameter and how to pass the value to the output parameter, right? How to use the output parameter, that also we have seen it here. And how to call the stored procedure using exec function. So using exec command, we can execute or call the stored procedure which we created as calculate net salary one and all the values, gross salary 100,000, tax rate 20%, and deduction 1,500. And net salary, we cannot pass it because it has to give me the net salary. So on the right hand side, I mentioned at net salary output. Okay. So output the value net salary from the stored and store it in a variable called at net salary. And the net salary will contain your net salary. To view that, you need to use select at net salary as net salary. That is the one will give you that. Okay. Got it? So hope you understood with this example how to create a stored procedure. Okay. And next one is, so next what we'll do is, yeah, so now you understood, right, with this example, what is a stored procedure is all about and how to create a stored procedure, all the things, right? So what I am going to do is, I'm going to copy the same stored procedure. Look here, we have a function stored like stored procedure. We have something else called stored function. Stored function like stored procedure. We have something else called stored function. Even using the stored function, we can create a reusable component. The net salary, previously we have seen it, right? The net salary computation. For that purpose, we have created a stored procedure. That stored procedure was a reusable component. Okay. Similarly, you can create a function, put all the logics, the specific for a specific functionality related logics. Okay, you put it in a function, and then simply you can call that function. But the difference between stored procedure and stored function is the stored function will return only one value, and it can take only the input parameter. Okay, so here the input parameter was at gross salary. So when you give the gross salary value to this stored procedure, it gives you the net salary. That's all, guys. And here, if you see, right, returns, this is a syntax thing, okay? So when it comes to, yeah, here, create or alter function. For example, later point time, you want to make some changes to the rule here. You can change, instead of point 2, if you want to specify point 3, you can specify it. Once you modify it again, when you try to create the stored procedure, it will throw an error. The stored procedure already exists. And if you want to modify a stored procedure, you can use alter, create or alter. Okay. Second time, after first time you create the stored procedure, stored function or stored procedure, it is fine. But later point time, you want to make some changes to your code and then recreate your stored function or stored procedure. You can use create or alter. Even in the case of stored procedure, same thing you can use it. Okay. Here, since it's a function, I need to mention the function, the reserved word, and here you need to specify your function name. That's all. I'm going to select everything. I'm going to click on execute. Incorrect syntax in here at net salary. Okay. Declare. Incorrect syntax in your declare. Okay. 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 Create or alter function. Okay. Returns decimal 18 comma 2 as begin and declare decimal 5 comma 2 18 comma 2 18 comma 2. Yeah. And next one is line 27, message 156, batch start line 87. Yes, 87 it starts. Okay. Okay, okay, what I will do is create function. Okay, the alter we'll see it later. Okay, even then it is giving the same thing. Create function, function name, and inside the parenthesis, you need to use the parameter name. At gross salary was the parameter and returns decimal 18 comma 2 as begin and declare tax rate decimal 5 comma 2 18 comma 2 and gross rate, all the things are there. Okay, and here you don't see any red color line, but here only it shows the red color line. Yeah, so whenever you create a function, right, you need to select till the end, and that's what I did it. But still, stored procedure. Calculate net salary one, line two, batch starts line 87, right? She's by 87. Okay, let me do one thing. Go here, use demo DB, go, and then here, this is already an object name in the database. Okay, okay, okay. This is already there. Sometimes, even though you find the red color line, right, that is not syntax error. Okay, and now it is getting executed. Comments got created. Now, how do I call this stored function? Here also, right here, it is little bit different. Look here, I have used the declare, the reserved word, followed by that I defined a variable, okay? And what is the data type? Fine, okay? Next line is set at result, okay, is equivalent to, this is the one, the result is a decimal, that is the one I used it here. On the right side of the equal sign, so I'm going to call the stored procedure salary, here net salary 11, right? I just put the function name, sorry, the stored function name is 11, and 12,000, 12, one second, what is that? Is that, yeah, salary 1, right? Not 11. Okay. 1 and 12. So what is this? 12500? That is what the gross salary. Okay. Look here. Here it takes only one parameter value, right? Only one value by this parameter. We have defined only one parameter. Hence, you need to pass only one value to the stored procedure. When you give this value, the gross salary, to this stored function, it gives you the net salary. So like I told you earlier, you need to use select at result to see this one, call this stored function. Look here, we are returning the net salary. So your tax amount, net salary, finally net salary, this is the one will contain your net salary. That is the one I'm returning it. This function returns only one value. Not only this function, you create any function, returns only one value. So now what we do is, for this function, if you pass a gross salary, so in this case, 1,25,000, I am just passed it, and that, it called this stored procedure, it computes the net salary, it returns the net salary. That net salary will get stored in the at result. To view the value stored in the at result, select at result, look at 87,500. So with this example, hope you understood what is a stored function and how to create a stored function, and also we have seen how to modify a stored function, create or alter function, create or alter function. Okay, so you can use that one also, alter. Look here, this time it was not saying that the stored function was already there, because I have used alter function, okay? But unless you make any change to your stored procedure, right, or function, you don't have to specify this one. If you specify alter function, it will go and check, there are no changes. Again, it is going to recreate the stored function, and you can call the stored function using this one, okay? So like this. Here, you don't have to use exec or execute. Only in the case of stored procedure, you have to use execute. In stored function, you don't have to use that one. So what is the difference between stored and stored function in SQL Server? The function will return only one value, whereas stored procedure can return more than one value also. Unlike a stored function, the stored procedure can take both the input as well as the output parameter. Okay, and it can return more than one value also, the stored procedure, whereas the stored function can should return only one value. Okay, and you can call the stored procedure using execute, whereas in the case of stored function, you can use a select statement, okay, or like the way I have shown, right, you can call it that way also. So the stored procedure is predominantly used for performing actions like data manipulation, complex business logic in a database, that you can do it. The stored function, it is a database object. It calculates and returns a single value based on input parameter. Okay, so that is what I explained you. The stored procedure, we can invoke it using either exec or execute statements, whereas the stored function, you can reference it within a SQL queries or expressions. Okay, the stored procedure can be called independently or from other stored procedure. Let's say you create stored procedure. Can I call the stored procedure other stored procedure? Yes, that is possible. Okay. You can call a stored procedure from other stored procedure, trigger, or any application code also you can call it. In the case of stored function, so you can use the stored function in expressions, column values as part of other functions also. Stored procedure. So look here, you can use a stored function inside the stored procedure. You can use a function inside another function. You can use a function inside the trigger also. So these are the differences between the stored procedure and stored function